going, Randy? It's Stan.
Connor here.
And today, we got a new set.
Woo!
And we're going to be taking a look at your answers to the questions we proposed in the Q&A video 2,000 subscribers special that we posted about a week ago. We're going to answer all your questions in rapid succession, so let's go!
Redspin-X asks, who's your main in Smash?
My mains in Smash 4 are Ganondorf, Captain Falcon, and I like playing Jigglypuff a lot.
My main in Smash 4 would have to be Ness.
I kind of have two mains in Smash Bros. 4, but if you had to put a gun to my head and tell me to pick, I would probably pick Sheik. Sheik since Melee, Sheik through Brawl. Sheik is my freak.
Odd Sauce wants to know, why didn't you accept my friend request?
Odd Sauce, like what friend request, man? We've always been friends. That's the end of it.
Odd Sauce also asks, will we ever do another stream without any crashes?
I'm building a computer, like, as I speak right now. I just gotta get the parts together. I'm hoping in the next few weeks. It's gonna be really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I know the crash was pretty bad. I thought I had the components to run it, but I don't. So it's coming soon, promise.
Matthew Dadoon asks, if you saw a Sakurai walking down the street, what would you do?
If I saw a Sakurai walking on the street, I would probably go up to him and with anything I had on me try to get an autograph. And then I would ask him to take a really silly selfie with me for future pleasure.
I personally would have to try to find a way to troll Sakurai, since we all know he is a troll himself.
I would probably yell at him a little bit and tell him to be my ice climber. But then I would cry.
Royboy140 asks, who is your favorite Roy Boy?
Probably the one that's in Smash, the alternate costume for Bowser Jr., you know, the Roy that should have made it into the game.
Any Roy Boy is my Roy Boy.
My favorite Roy Boy is actually Roy Boy 9000, over 9000. That's my favorite Roy Boy, so sorry buddy.
Money Crystal wants to know what our favorite video game character is.
Well, if it's related to Nintendo, it's probably going to be Link, because he's just like my favorite character, you know? He always goes on adventures and just has a great old time. I don't know what else to say about that.
My favorite video game character, sorry to ruin it for you guys, not a Nintendo person, but it has to be Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series. He's just a badass and likable character.
Sonic 2 is one of my all-time favorite games, and I always remember it was one of the few like classic games that didn't really have, you know, restart points that I actually beat, and I was able to unlock Super Sonic, and as a Dragon Ball Z fan, kind of seeing that and relating it back to all that stuff from my childhood was amazing. So yeah, probably Sonic the Hedgehog, weirdly enough.
Slender Joe would like to know if we watch any anime and what our favorite one is.
Yeah, I do watch anime. I've seen most of One Piece, Full Alchemist, Brotherhood, Parasite, DBZ Kai obviously, and Attack on Titan. My favorite right now is Parasite just because it's still new and I'm really into it. And I forgot Sword Art Online, also good.
Yeah, I watched Naruto, One Piece, I've watched Attack on Titan also. Currently my favorite though is One Piece, as I just flew through about 300 episodes in the past couple of months.
My favorite of all time is probably Dragon Ball Z, but in terms of quality and like newer stuff I've seen, I really love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I just watched a show called Steins Gate that I really love because I am a sucker for time travel stories.
Bentley Wilson wants to know if we're ever going to do any videos on Smash Bros. Tiers.
Thanks for the suggestion, Bentley. We actually love that idea, and I think that's going to be one of our new summer projects. We'll probably do a video on both the Melee and Smash 4 tier list respectively. Diddy hopefully gets a patch during the next update. But yeah, thank you for the kind words, and expect videos on that probably fairly soon. Thanks again.
Once again, Odd Sauce asks, do you think Be Our Baby Rhinos and Let's Make Some Magic Happen came out a little bit too weird?
Honestly, anything related to Baby Rhinos is really weird and awkward, but that's kind of what me and Stan got going with our personality, so that's just how it is, and yeah, it probably was awkward.
Panda's uncle wants to know if we're still teens.
No, we are actually not teens. We've basically almost graduated college and we're on to the real world.
Thomas a Gamer asks, do you guys ever think you're going to do any retro game reviews?
That's a great question. I would love to do some retro Nintendo reviews because I just spent probably around $100 on the Wii U store buying all the old Super Mario games like Link to the Past, Donkey Kong Country, so I'm sure they're coming.
Sergeant Reflux, specifically to Stan, wants to know what's your favorite game in the Legend of Zelda series and why?
My favorite game in the Legend of Zelda series is hypocritically Ocarina of Time, but that's only because it was like my first Zelda experience, like many. But more importantly, it was the only Zelda experience I've had where I didn't have the internet as a crutch, and I fall into that trap almost every single game, minus I think maybe Twilight Princess. But yeah, so it was really my only experience with a Zelda game where I didn't use any sort of guide and had to figure my way out through talking to friends on the playground or little things like that, and I loved every second of it. And to this day, it's the only game I've beaten more than 3 times, so definitely Ocarina of Time. Wind Waker close second though.
I Own a Wii U asks what our favorite piece of clothing is.
This really cool Smash Bros shirt I got has Master Hand on it. It has a bunch of the characters. It's not every day you find a shirt like this in a store, and I managed to actually do that. So I'm pretty impressed with my find, and I haven't seen anyone else with the shirt, so I like the shirt a lot.
My favorite piece of clothing is actually this really cool t-shirt I got off this website called T-Fury. It's a Star Wars and Super Mario shirt mashed all in together.
My Yoshi tighty whities that I still own to this day. I only wear them special occasions, like dates and stuff, but yeah.
I Own a Wii U wants to know, why did we start a YouTube channel?
I started a YouTube channel because I was always pretty good at making school projects with video type stuff. Always usually got me an A, and I thought, hey, how can I get an A in life? And so I turned to YouTube and brought the old con man and Neon and a bunch of other people along for the ride. I just love editing the videos, and it's good to get to talk to you kind of guys.
Well, basically, me and Stan work together, and he always had these great ideas, and he has such an imagination and creativeness that he's talking about YouTube, and he really got me going, and I just had to jump on board, really.
Fritz Bossa and Arcanine both would like to know who our favorite Pokemon is.
My favorite Pokemon is actually Umbreon, one of the evolutions. As a kid, I always liked, Gold and Silver were my first generation, and I always liked the look of just like the black and the yellow with the red eyes, plus just the fact that like you had to evolve it during night, I thought was really cool, and like back then you didn't see that in every game, so I appreciated that, and I had one on my team, and yeah, that or Cyndaquil probably.
Kind of a strange answer probably, but my favorite Pokemon is Archeops. Love his design, and I've always been a fan of dinosaurs and prehistoric stuff.
Probably Goldeen, because Super Smash Bros. Best item in the game, drop a Pokeball, best attack. No, JK, it's actually Jigglypuff, too cute.
Jonathan Miraglia wants to know, when do we think the Wave 4 pre-orders will come out?
Soon.
I don't know.
April 2nd, 2015. The pre-orders will go live, and nobody will get any of them. Except for the Odd Sauce, because he's awesome.
Nadia wants to know if we can make a video on why Diddy is the best character in Smash Bros. Nadia, come on. Mr. Extremes for the Win Lollykids would like to know what our favorite video is that we've uploaded.
Favorite video uploaded was a Taylor Swift parody, because seeing Neon and Stan just making them a fool of themselves like I was just brightens my day.
My favorite video is definitely our Taylor Swift parody, because I got to be Ness.
My personal favorite video in terms of quality is my Do Zelda Fans Suck video. However, the one that I have the most respect for and the one I'm most proud of is probably the Melee vs. Brawl one, because we were misguided and we didn't have all the facts, and since then I've kind of come around a lot more to Brawl, and in fact I kind of moved on to Smash 4. However, I just love that video because it's really what opened the doors for us, and it's really what led to a huge influx of subscribers and people commenting. And I mean, now it's kind of turned into arguments, and I don't really like to look at the comments in that video as much anymore, but during the first initial months, it was a really great experience to be a part of that community.
I Own a Wii U asks, Apple or Android?
I have an iPhone, but I think I'd rather go with an Android for phone, but overall Apple, because I really enjoy the iPad.
Definitely have to be Apple, kind of a fanboy.
I do edit on a PC, however I own like a Mac and an iPad and an iPhone. I am an Apple hive mind slave, so yeah, Apple.
I Own a Wii U, thank you again. You would like to know, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Actually, funny story, the chicken came first, but the egg didn't come until the chicken and the baby rhino got together and made the egg. So that's really what happened.
Griffin Rose questions us if we think all of these video game remakes are getting a little too out of hand.
Yes and no, because yes, it's getting redundant, but you know, they need to come up with some more creative ideas for new games and stuff like that, which I think there are a few coming. And no, because it brings me back to my childhood. I love those games, and them just remaking them better and looking better, detailed and everything. It's just amazing. So.
Lucas Penn asks if we're going to do any more Smash or Zelda related videos.
As mentioned before, to Bentley's point, we are going to probably delve into the tier aspect and the more competitive nature of Melee and Brawl as kind of esports. Zelda, for sure, although we might actually postpone some of our content now that the game has been delayed. Not that we're trying to capitalize on, like, you know, a movement or anything like that, but it's just, there's a time and place for everything, and I really wanted to have, like, the hype of an incoming Zelda game fueling kind of the decision to make those videos. So because it's been delayed, I think we will also delay more of our Zelda stuff, but expect a lot more Star Fox and Animal Crossing stuff as a result. Why did I say Animal Crossing? I don't play those games.
Trent Studios and Mr. Extremes for the win Lolly Kids want to know what our favorite video game is.
My favorite game, Nintendo-wise, probably Super Mario Legend of the Seven Stars, just because it was like the first game I fully completed on Super Nintendo, and it was really tough when I was younger, and it was just an amazing game. I loved every second of it.
My favorite game would have to be Shadow of the Colossus. Playing it when I was a younger person, getting to explore that fantastic world with those epic battles, just left a great impression on my mind.
Probably Super Mario Galaxy. That sounds kind of weird, and I'm definitely, as a series, I prefer Zelda and Smash Bros. To the Mario series. However, that one specific game I remember really helped me through kind of a hard time in my life as I was transcending into more like adolescence. And when I didn't have as many friends, I would kind of play that game, and I got really good at that game, and I beat it. And when you beat that game with all the stars plus the Luigi missions, Nintendo actually sends you a postcard type thing to your Wii account, which I thought was so cool and gave me like a lot of bragging rights within the Nintendo community, like of my friends. So that was a pretty cool situation, and I'll never forget my experiences with that game.
Adrian Corneo wants to know what amiibos we own and what's your favorite one. Iron Wii U wants to know if we keep them open or closed. I have two amiibos. I have Kirby and I have Toon Link. They are both unpackaged.
As you can see behind me, we have a lot of amiibo, and they're all still in their package. Now, this isn't because they're rare or anything like that. I have a few rare ones, a few that aren't. I keep all of them in the package still because I really just like the artwork on the package, and I don't know, I've never been the type of person to take things out of the box, regardless if it's collectible or not. I like the design, I like the aesthetics, and that's probably also why I'm so into editing and Photoshop and that now for you guys on the channel. As for which ones we have, well, I got a little slideshow for you.
Ooh, look at all them amoeba villager. Big Mac attack. Sonic, speeds the name, speeds Mega. Oh, now it's going too slow, fast. It's going a little too fast. Mega Man. Ooh, you're shiny. Ike. Yeah, so these are a few of the rares, but I also have Pikachu, Diddy, Yoshi, and thanks to Neon, Link and Mario now in my collection. So I think I'm sitting at around 18 or 19, but I do not have the full set. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Craig Slomsky wonders black and blue or white and gold.
Black and blue.
White and gold.
It's obviously rainbow. Ooh, I love rainbows.
Iona Wii U asks what microphone we use.
We actually use a Yeti microphone, USB 2.0. Your typical, it's a little higher end. I don't recommend that you need that type of quality, but I love it, and I really need to get a pop filter for it.
Kangados VGC has a question for Stan regarding Shulk and Xenoblade Chronicles.
Now, I'm not a Shulk main, but I do really appreciate him as a character, and in terms if I played the game or not, well, thanks Stevie T. Appreciate it. I'm gonna beat it one day, I promise.
Iona Wii U asks, are we right or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Right-handed.
I'm right-handed.
Thanks for the advice, JTM704. Here's Stan's response.
Hey, JTM704, thank you so much for the suggestion. Unfortunately, right now, we're not in a place and time frame where we can kind of put out videos on that type of schedule. However, we are trying to get it to one video at least per week and maybe even do two with one video being kind of, you know, produced content, maybe amiibo or video game related, and then maybe doing just a kind of like fun gameplay session or something like that on a Wednesday or something. So expect kind of Wednesdays and Saturdays to be our new schedule, but we might refine this a little bit as things change and, you know, our lives kind of evolve.
I Own a Wii U wants to know what our first console was and the story behind how we got it.
My first console was actually a PS1. I know that sounds weird, but my aunt gave it to me because her sons, or my cousins, were misbehaving. So I got their PS1, I started playing Final Fantasy, got super into it, and I later got a SNES and I loved it, and I've been with Nintendo ever since.
My first console was Nintendo 64. You can see a video of me getting really excited on Christmas morning on YouTube.
My first console was actually the N64, and awesomely enough, my first game was the original Smash Bros, which probably led me to where I am today. And yeah, I got both of those for my birthday, and thanks Dad, from the 6-year-old me.
Storming Garchomp wants to know if he was the 2000th sub.
You know, here at RandomTens, we don't like to encourage anybody battling for a position or a sub. We're just happy for all our subscribers. That being said, weirdly enough, our 2000th subscriber was actually RoyBoy140, because Roy likes to unsubscribe and resubscribe to our channel on like a weekly basis. And I counted back, and yeah, it was Roy, but then he unsubscribed again, which might have made, I think it was you, Garchomp, the 2000th sub.
Elman Pat has a fantastic question wondering if we think Thomas the Tank Engine has a place in Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, I can. That's actually interesting because, like, what would his skills be? And his troll face? Like, that smile? Like, I'd hate that. Love it.
I mean, I think Thomas is probably the second best pick after possibly Waddle Dee. I think Waddle Dee is probably the #1 most requested character in all of history, probably more than even Sonic was for Brawl. So I think we gotta go Waddle Dee, Waddle Dee, Waddle Dee Dee Dee. Thank you.
You know, there's always been something missing in Super Smash Bros. And until that question was asked, I didn't know what it was. Now I do. This needs to happen, and it will be perfect.
Great. Okay, I think that's it, yeah. Alright, thank you Randys for tuning into this one. We enjoyed answering all your questions. Hopefully you got to know us a little bit better.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Like, you had some great questions. It was a pleasure to answer them and, you know, talk about stuff with you guys. Like, that's all it's about, really.
Yeah, now this is probably going to be the last time we do like a subscriber-based special until we hit maybe like 10,000, hopefully, knock on wood type of thing. But if you want to ask us questions on the day-to-day regular basis, follow us at RandomTens, where you can reach us pretty much any minute of the day, except between 4 to 6 p.m. because that's Connor's spa time.
Yeah, I love the spa, and I love chilling with my baby rhinos, getting my mud down.
Ooh, tough mudder!
Okay. I'm done.
That was fun.